You can make a lot of money on YouTube. You can build an audience online, generate income outside of a normal job, and potentially create a life with more freedom than the traditional path most people are pushed toward. But I think one of the biggest lies people tell smaller creators is that YouTube is this completely fair meritocracy where good content always wins. Because honestly, that's just not true anymore. The platform heavily rewards two things at the exact same time: highly stimulating content and extremely consistent uploads. And if you're a smaller creator trying to balance school, work, college, or just life in general, that combination becomes incredibly difficult to compete with. Think about what YouTube actually wants. The platform wants people watching for as long as humanly possible. That's the business model. The longer viewers stay on the site, the more ads they watch, the more money YouTube makes. So naturally, the algorithm starts prioritizing videos that maximize retention, faster pacing, better editing, more cuts, more stimulation, more emotional hooks, more things happening every couple seconds to stop people from clicking away. And honestly, I don't even fully blame YouTube for this. Attention is one of the most competitive resources on the internet now, especially with Gen Z, where everybody's attention span has been completely fried by TikTok, Shorts, Reels, and endless dopamine loops. This creates a really frustrating environment for smaller creators because if your videos are slower paced or less stimulating, the platform often assumes they're lower quality content. Even if the ideas are genuinely valuable, even if the storytelling is good, even if the video took you weeks to make, if viewers are not immediately hooked, your retention drops. If your retention drops, YouTube stops recommending the video. Then your content just sits there collecting dust while hyper-edited videos dominate the homepage. And after enough time, smaller creators start feeling invisible. Like no matter how much effort they put in, the platform simply does not care. The opposite problem happens too. Let's say you actually try matching that level of editing. You spend days scripting, recording voiceovers, learning transitions, doing sound design, fixing your audio, creating thumbnails, adding subtitles, trying to make the video algorithm friendly. Suddenly, one upload takes 2 weeks or even a month to finish. And now the algorithm punishes you in a completely different way because your upload schedule becomes inconsistent. So now you're trapped in this weird cycle where low effort uploads don't get pushed, but high effort uploads destroy your consistency. That's the problem almost every small creator runs into eventually. Meanwhile, larger creators can do both. They can upload consistently and maintain insane quality because they have systems and resources behind them. They have editors, thumbnail designers, researchers, managers, scriptwriters, sometimes entire production teams. One person handles the gameplay, another handles the subtitles, another handles retention editing, another makes thumbnails full-time. A smaller creator is doing all of that alone after work at midnight while exhausted trying to figure out why their microphone suddenly stopped working. And then YouTube compares both creators on the exact same homepage competing for the exact same audience attention. This is why so many Gen Z creators burn out before they ever gain momentum. Everybody online says things like just work harder or just stay disciplined, but that advice ignores reality completely. Most people are not lazy, they're overwhelmed. The standards for content have become unbelievably high in such a short period of time. 10 years ago, you could upload Minecraft gameplay with Bandicam watermarks and still grow an audience because the platform itself was less competitive. Now people are comparing themselves to creators, running miniature media companies from their bedrooms. The average viewer also expects constant stimulation now because that's what the internet trained them to expect. Honestly, I think this affects viewers psychologically too. We've become so used to consuming hyper-stimulating content that slower content almost feels uncomfortable at first. A video without constant cuts, subtitles, music changes, and visual movement immediately gets labeled boring, even if the actual ideas are interesting. And because of that, creators feel pressured to turn every upload into a dopamine machine just to survive. But not everybody wants to create like that. Some people genuinely enjoy slower videos, thoughtful conversations, long-form storytelling, calm commentary, videos that feel authentic instead of engineered entirely around retention graphs. The problem is that YouTube doesn't really reward effort equally. A creator can spend 2 months making an incredible video and it can still completely fail because the thumbnail wasn't clickable enough or the intro wasn't strong enough. Meanwhile, another creator uploads reaction clips with Subway Surfers gameplay underneath and gets millions of views because they understand exactly how to maximize retention. That imbalance frustrates a lot of people because it feels unfair. And honestly, sometimes it is unfair. There are amazing creators that never get discovered. There are mediocre creators who randomly explode overnight. The internet has always been partially luck-based, whether people want to admit it or not. Also think smaller creators misunderstand the algorithm sometimes. The algorithm is not personally targeting you. The algorithm follows viewer behavior. It pushes whatever keeps people engaged. So the real issue is not that YouTube secretly wants smaller creators to fail. The real issue is that most smaller creators build content systems that are completely unsustainable long-term. They try copying giant creators immediately instead of building processes that actually fit their own life, schedule, energy, and resources. I used to make this mistake constantly. I thought every upload needed to feel perfect before I could post it. I would rewrite scripts over over and over again, over-edit tiny sections nobody would even notice. Spend hours fixing meaningless details, and because of that, uploading became mentally exhausting. One video would consume my entire week, then I'd burn out, I'd disappear for a month, and I'd come back motivated again. Repeat the exact same cycle and wonder why my channel wasn't growing. But eventually I realized consistency is not just about discipline, it's about sustainability. If your process destroys your energy every upload, you're not building a channel. You're building temporary motivation. That's why niching down becomes so important for smaller creators. You're not going to outcompete giant creators purely through production value. You're not going to out-edit people with teams behind them. But what you can do is become specific. You can become recognizable. You can become associated with a certain perspective, feeling, or type of content. Maybe your niche is commentary about modern life over Minecraft gameplay. Maybe it's videos about Gen Z economics. Maybe it's internet culture. Maybe it's storytelling. Whatever it is, once your niche becomes clear, content creation becomes easier because your brain stops trying to reinvent the wheel every upload. A lot of people sabotage themselves by making broad content too early. One week they upload a productivity video, next week it's gaming, then philosophy, then politics, then AI, then fitness. The algorithm gets confused because it doesn't know who to recommend the channel to, and viewers get confused because there's no clear identity. Bigger creators can sometimes get away with variety because people already follow them for personality. Smaller creators usually need a stronger core identity first before branching out. Honestly, consistency does not mean daily uploads. I think social media completely destroyed people's understanding of what consistency actually means. People see creators uploading every single day and assume that's the standard. But for most smaller creators balancing work, college, or responsibilities, daily uploads are completely unrealistic unless the content is extremely low effort. One genuinely solid upload every week is already enough to build momentum if you stay consistent over time. The issue is that most people create workflows that are way too complicated to sustain. To simplify your process aggressively, that's the real fix most people avoid because simplification feels less impressive. But it works. Stop trying to make every upload your masterpiece. Stop trying to create documentary level editing for an audience of 12 people. Focus on repeatable systems. Maybe your gameplay footage is always Minecraft. Maybe your thumbnails are simple text-based thumbnails. Maybe your editing stays minimal but clean. Maybe your scripts follow similar structures so writing becomes faster over time. The goal is not perfection. The goal is reducing friction enough that uploading consistently becomes realistic. Honestly, viewers care less about perfection than creators think they do. Most people are watching videos while eating, laying in bed, studying, commuting, or scrolling half distracted. They care more about how your content makes them feel than whether your transitions are cinematic masterpieces. This is why some creators with very simple visuals still build strong communities. They understand storytelling, they understand pacing, they understand authenticity. Those things matter more long-term than over-editing everything into oblivion. I also think Gen Z creators are dealing with a psychological problem older creators didn't experience to the same extent. We grew up constantly exposed to impossible levels of online success. Millionaire YouTubers at 22, streamers making more money in a month than most people make in years. Overnight success stories everywhere. So now every small creator subconsciously compares their beginning to somebody else's peak. That destroys motivation because progress starts feeling insignificant. Getting 50 views feels embarrassing when your homepage constantly shows videos with 5 million views. 50 real people is actually a lot. Imagine 50 people sitting in a room listening to you speak. That's not small at all. The internet just completely destroys your perception of scale. And because of that, most creators quit way too early. They upload 5 videos, get discouraged, assume the algorithm buried them forever, and stop before they ever improve enough to succeed. But YouTube growth is usually non-linear. Some channels stay invisible for months before suddenly finding momentum because the creator finally discovered a format that balances quality with consistency. Balance is really the entire game now. Not perfection, not virality, but balance. You need content good enough to hold attention while still being simple enough to produce repeatedly. That's the sweet spot which smaller creators should obsess over because the algorithm loves momentum. Once YouTube sees viewers responding positively to your videos consistently, the platform starts trusting your content more. But you only reach that point if you survive long enough mentally to keep uploading. Survival on YouTube is mostly psychological. Most creators do not fail because they lack talent. They fail because they burn out. They overcomplicate things. They compare themselves endlessly. They expect immediate results from a platform built around long-term consistency. The algorithm feels unfair because honestly, sometimes it is unfair. But staying bitter about unfairness forever does not help either. The creators who eventually succeed are usually the ones who adapt instead of collapsing emotionally every time a video underperforms. Simplify their systems. They improve gradually. They analyze what works. They stop trying to impress everybody and focus on becoming recognizable instead. They understand that YouTube is no longer just a creativity game. It's also a sustainability game because the platform rewards creators who can survive long enough to improve. Honestly, I think that's the hardest part. Nobody talks about enough. Uploading when nobody cares yet. Uploading while balancing school or work. Uploading while exhausted. Uploading when your videos barely get views. Uploading while feeling like everybody else is moving faster than you. That phase filters out most creators before before they ever gain momentum. But if you can simplify your process, niche down properly, focus on sustainability instead of perfection, and consistently create content people emotionally connect with, you genuinely can grow on this platform. Not overnight, not magically, but realistically. And I think that's the real fix smaller creators need to hear. Not wake up at 5 a.m., not grind harder, not work 18 hours a day. Build systems you can actually survive inside long term. Because the algorithm doesn't just reward talent anymore. It rewards creators who can consistently create without destroying themselves in the process.